President Trump's going to sign an executive order today. It will throttle government funding and grants to colleges that don't promote free speech on campus. Come in, Harmeet Dhillon. She's a board member of the National Republican Lawyers Foundation. Harmeet, welcome back to the program. Can you tell me how this is going to work? Is it just a denial of money if you don't have real free speech on campus? Just as simple as that?
Well, I think there's some details that we don't know yet, and they're going to be unveiled in the signing this afternoon. But my understanding overall is that federal funding or grants for these universities will be tied to the extent to which that they do not promote, but just permit free speech on their campus. And we've had a real rash of censorship on college campuses that hurts all the students. And so I think this is a really important step. I believe there's another part of this that also ties some aspects of the funding and loans available to students to how successful their colleges and universities are at actually placing them in jobs where they can earn money to pay them back. So I think that's going to be interesting to see as well.
Wait, very hard to enforce that, I'd say.
I think we'll have to see what the details are, but you know, what your viewers may not know is that the Department of Education actually has a vast bureaucracy that measures these colleges and universities on a number of different criteria. So they already have a way to do that. It's just a matter of adding this additional scrutiny.
I knew they got a vast bureaucracy. I didn't know they were involved in that. I thought they were just censoring us, but that's
no. I mean, they, for example, they won't give a college funding if you know, it doesn't meet certain accreditation criteria and so forth. So this is just adding some additional criteria.
Fair enough. Okay. Now, social media. Harmeet, just listen to what President Trump had to say earlier this week about their bias against conservative ideas. Roll tape, please.
It seems to be if they're conservative, if they're Republicans, if they're in a certain group, there's discrimination and big discrimination. Something's happening with those groups of folks that are running Facebook and Google and Twitter. And I do think we have to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, get to the bottom of it, Harmeet. But what can the President of the United States do about this?
Well, for one thing, there are some regulations that protect these social media companies from lawsuits in a way that, for example, Fox News and other television broadcasters don't have protection. And so if they're going to be engaging in publication and censorship and weighing different opinions, then they do not need protection from liability for their actions when they do that. So that's one thing under the Communications Decency Act. The other is that these big tech companies misrepresent what they're doing, which is a consumer issue. And so we have Federal Trade Commission and other federal government agencies that can actually take action based on existing laws, and I hope that they do that.
Can you see the point coming where regulation is imposed on the Facebooks and Googles of this world, which changes their business model?
Yes, I think it is coming, and I think you'll see that from the behavior of these tech companies that they're expecting it to come. You're seeing a lot of the Democratic candidates actually start talking about this. Elizabeth Warren particularly has talked about how these big companies have too much power and that they need to be looked at and scrutinized. And the power actually goes along with this political viewpoint discrimination and hiding what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm in that camp too, actually. I think they've got too much power. I don't think you should have... They have knowledge of 2 billion people. They know everything about 2 billion people. And in the wrong hands, that's a couple of billionaires have got that power. I don't like that. That's Big Brother, isn't it?
It is, and these same companies are doing business with China, which is absolutely Big Brother. And so you want China to have all the personal information of what you do in your house. I don't want that. And I think that it's time for us to know what they're doing with our data and then what we can do to protect ourselves.
I knew I liked you. I knew we should have you on this program more often. Harmeet Dhillon, you were all right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Always appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure.